So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Market Wrap with Arjit Garg. And of course, we have Mr. Arjit Garg, a SEBI registered research analyst, to help us decode about the market today. So, Arjit, please tell us how was the market today? Very volatile session.
Thank you for having me, Ripradaman, in this session. And indeed, yes, a very volatile session today, not just for Nifty, but for Bank Nifty, Sensex, not just for cash market. You see, commodities, everything was super volatile today.
Right, right. Okay. So, let's go step by step. Let's start with the equities, and then we'll go to the commodities and currency market.
Absolutely. Let's start with the equity markets, starting with Nifty 50. Nifty closed with, however, it's a positive closing. It closed with the gains of 0.5%, 112 points at 23,134. Sensex also closed with the gains of 0.44%, 325 points at 74,532. Bank Nifty, however, gave us a flat closing, but the benchmark indices are trying to indicate that there might be something positive happening in the market. Now, I'll quickly give you a couple of points around why I think that the markets have given us a positive close today. Now, the first point is the HDFC Bank thing, which happened yesterday. We discussed about what really happened with HDFC Bank. We marked a couple of levels as well, and we can see that the levels were respected. Now, what really happened today in terms of the next upcoming things which have happened with HDFC Bank is I got the opportunity to get in touch with somebody from the top management who later we all of us together we connected to the CEO of the bank, Mr. Jagdishan. And what I can take on from the conversation that we have is the board of management did know that something is going to go wrong because there were some disagreements between the part-time chairman Atanu Chakraborty and the CEO of the firm, Mr. Jagdishan. So there were discrepancies, there was a certain disagreements between them, but nobody saw the resignation coming. And especially if you just look at other interviews of Atanu Chakraborty post resignation, he has clarified that there are no major issues within the bank. See, what Mr. Jagdishan told us is that there were discrepancies. We had a very rough conversation with him that night before his resignation, and when he submitted the resignation to the board of management, everybody asked him like, what do you think is wrong in the bank? He again, with while having a conversation with them, Atanu Chakraborty said that there's nothing majorly wrong, but I feel like there's something wrong, so I'm putting it in the resignation letter. So that is when like more rifts happen. Like, okay, why are you blaming us? And certain these are internal issues, right? Internal issues happen in almost every organization. You see, HDFC Bank, they have over 9,000 branches. They tap onto over 3,000 towns and cities. So having certain a small internal rift is very common in such huge organizations. But
Mhm.
given that the things that are happening in HDFC Bank right now, like the post resignation thing, the management that they're doing right now for this entire crisis that has happened, this really shows the quality of the crisis management that they have as a firm. See, every firm they face some of the other crises almost every quarter, every year. Either there is some top management guy leaving, or there's somebody who is new, so they have to replace somebody. So internal conflicts to hote rehte hain. But what really shows that your quality, your bank is good, your company organization is worth investing in, or the quality of your bank or your organization is good, it is shown by how well you can manage the crisis. And this is exactly the top quality which HDFC Bank is showing us right now. So one of the top things were that they were all aware about the conflicts which were happening. They knew there were disagreements and they were looking to talk about it. But the resignation was like, it was a big surprise for everybody. Secondly, to calm things down, as we talked about this yesterday as well, Mr. Keki Mistry, who is again a renowned banker. That guy has been with HDFC Bank for over 30 plus years. He was retired. Now he's the interim chairman for the bank right now. He, in an interview, in multiple interviews, he has also said that if there were any discrepancies with the bank, I simply wouldn't accept the role at the bank. If I am there, he's questioning his credibility. Like, if I am accepting the role, rest assured everything is okay with the bank, which almost everybody is buying in. Everybody is buying that story that okay, if Mr. Keki Mistry is coming in, this indicates that the bank is very good. On top of it, the RBI and the Board of Management, the regulatory authority itself, they have also okayed the bank, as in nothing is seriously wrong with the bank. internally, regulatory wise, governance wise, ethical value wise, everything is all okay. They comply with everything and nothing is seriously wrong in the bank. So these all are the factors which I think are happening in the HDFC Bank right now. And I think all of this together, now that the CEO of the firm has come in and like he's talking to research analysts individually, or not just in a conference call, but also individually, they are open to talk to RAs. So I believe this signals strength, and the outlook of the board of management is very clear that there is nothing wrong in the bank. Everything is going pretty well. And the reason why HDFC Bank is falling right now, we've seen that we are giving a negative closing in HDFC Bank today. We closed below 800 rupees. So why this happened is not just because something wrong happened in HDFC Bank, not just because the chairman of the bank has resigned, but there are also other factors to it. The stock is already trading at its, I believe it's a 52-week low. The stock is certainly under pressure because of the global sentiments. So there are a lot of factors to it, which are again creating a cascading effect on the bank altogether. So the stock is very well, but these are some updates which I believe it's important for all of the investors to know regarding the bank, that the quality of the stock is very good. So there's nothing to be afraid about it.
Got it, got it. Now it feels a little more clear on what exactly the issue was. This is more of a personal rift rather than something wrong with the company itself.
Absolutely. Now,
So,
coming to the sectors which are top performing today, we
mm,
can see IT was top performing. IT was already like underperforming from a very long time. We saw a very nice rally in IT stocks. We saw a nice rally in pharmaceutical stocks. Apart from that, we also saw healthcare and metals among the top gaining sectors in today's market. Talking about the top gaining stocks, we can see Reliance, Coal India. By the way, which reminds me, Coal India was also among our top recommendations today on the app. So users who are not there on the app yet, go there, check out the recommendation given. Coal India is up 3% today. Apart from that, we also have JSW Steel, Ultra Cement, Infosys. So these are some of the top stocks which have performed in today's session.
got it, got it. Ajit, you were also mentioning about the commodity market being very volatile. Can we look at that as well?
Sure. So commodity में the सबसे पहले we have to look at Brent crude. We talked about this yesterday as well.
Mhm.
How does crude and commodity prices affect our market? Initially, सबसे पहले crude oil affect होता है. So there are various crude oils. So US का it's WTI, London, Europe का it's Brent, India का it's like MCX crude. So every country has different crude. But our markets usually are affected by the Brent crude prices. Now, I'll explain it quickly. What really happens, like the transition from Brent crude to Nifty 50, I'll just explain it very quickly. Brent crude ka price is in dollar terms, correct? Because globally, almost everywhere, everything is traded in US dollar terms. Now, Brent crude, it's currently at $110. Now, what we have to compare this with is we have to compare it in Indian rupees value to get like the Indian rupee value of that. So, what we'll do is here on the chart, just to compare it very quickly, we will add the US dollar ka this in a new price scale like this. So now we know in comparison to USD INR मतलब इंडियन रुपीस के भाव में उसके कंपैरिजन में ब्रेंट क्रूड का भाव कैसा है. Now, how do you analyze this and how do you compare this with MCX price? Very simple. If Brent crude is rising and your rupee is also rising, expect a positive movement in MCX. Because what does this mean? 110 रुपए डॉलर का भाव अगर ब्रेंट पे है, उसको रुपीज में कन्वर्ट करो तो मतलब अच्छी खासी तेजी क्रूड में भी आ रही है. एंड दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई विल शो यू राइट अवे. Crude futures will load on MCX, and you see a similar pattern is being followed in crude as well. Exact dicto, just like you compare Brent crude with INR and then you come down to crude, you'll see a same pattern. So you are seeing a positive pattern here on crude. By the way, we also gave out a put recommendation for crude oil yesterday. Uska bhi target आज opening में hit हो गया. You can see a very red candle. This was the exact moment where we give out the recommendation, and at the end of the day, we already were in profits. But today we saw a gap down, and the targets were hit there as well. So once again, users who are not there on the Easy Buys Advisors app, tune in, download the app, and follow us there. Crude oil again, we are seeing a nice rally. Now, if we have to translate this price into how it will affect our market, I'll quickly show you that as well. So, for a second, let's just turn off the USD INR right now. We saw Brent ka chart. Brent mein there was a positive momentum. USD INR we saw we are all rupees touching new lows every day. 93.7 ka low we touched against dollar today. So rupee is rising. मतलब it's becoming weaker. तो महंगा हो रहा है वो. Brent crude is rising. Crude oil is also rising. Now everybody knows. People who don't know, you can know now. If crude is rising, it is very negative for equity markets. Very simple. Crude तब बढ़ता है when there is global uncertainty. When people expect something bad to happen globally, that is when crude oil becomes expensive. And obvious बात है, if everybody is expecting something bad to happen globally, your equity markets would not perform well. So this is the direct correlation between crude oil and our equity markets. Quickly, just to show you, I'll show you Nifty 50 chart as well. We have seen the positive movement in crude. Now we'll see Nifty 50. See what a gap down opening we have seen in Nifty in the past days, and the exact negative movement in Nifty 50, and we had a positive movement in crude oil. This proves the theory that crude oil positive movement is very negative for equity markets.
Got it. Got it. So directly, no, directly, indirectly proportional. These two things are. So,
Absolutely.
right, right. So, like we are ending this week on a very volatile day. Can we have like a quick summary of what happened this entire week on the Nifty levels, and then what we can expect in the next coming week?
Sure. So Nifty mein we'll just quickly go to the 5 day ka setting here. Right. So broadly, this is how Nifty has moved today. I'll remove this pane so it's better to view Nifty now. So here we can see a very volatile week. I would say if we just compare in a week how much have we gained or lost, we'll see we are at a loss of 0.27%. मतलब अगर मंडे को या फिर लास्ट फ्राइडे अगर किसी ने निफ्टी 50 इंडेक्स में से इफ यू हैड गॉट फ्यूचर का भाव या फिर स्पॉट पे इफ यू हैव इन्वेस्टेड निफ्टी 50 ऑन लास्ट फ्राइडे your investment without doing anything if you have not touched it in 1 week you would have barely made any money. In fact, it would be at a loss of 63 points. So in 1 week Nifty has barely performed anything, negative closing a weekly basis पे. Now what we can do to take this further, सबसे पहले तो you don't have to take any overnight position. We are repeating this from past 3 sessions. Say absolutely no to overnight positions. Such market scenarios जहाँ पे anything can happen anytime. Global uncertainty it at peak. I'll just quickly show you the IV का chart. IV we talked about this earlier as well. IV is implied volatility. Implied volatility मतलब market में uncertainty कितनी है वो you can see from this chart. So war start हुआ था on 1st of March. 2nd of March was the first gap down that we saw in our market. At that time, we were trading around 25,500. Oh my God, gone are those days when we used to trade in 25,000. That time, our IV on 27th Feb was 13.7. We saw a huge rise, 17, 21. It rose to 23 on March 9 when we saw a huge escalation, multiple bomb blasts and everything, attacks happening across Middle East. From that time till now, the IV hasn't seen a lot change, right? So not a lot of change has happened in IV. It's around the same level, 22, 23. What does this indicate? High IV indicates that there is still uncertainty in the market. So this again proves the point that you have to avoid overnight positions at all cost, right? That's point number one. Second point, why did the Nifty, like, why is Nifty falling today? Why did we see a huge crash? We opened with a gain of 1%, but then at the end of the day, we are losing all of that traction. Why is that happening? The key reason to that is something called as Friday fear. From the past 1 year, there are a lot of events happening. We have seen, like, since the day US President was elected, Donald Trump, last year, January. Since that day till today, almost every weekend, traders, investors, everybody is on their toes. Anything can happen every weekend. Now, for non-investors, it's an entertainment part, but for us, it's like we cannot even do anything. Markets do not open on weekends. So Friday fear, that thing is coming back in the markets. Last time this came in was during the housing crisis in 2007-8, when markets saw a huge crash. At that time as well, we saw similar cases. Every weekend something was happening, and Monday would be a gap down or gap up. Nobody could trade that gap, right? So Friday fear is real. Then crude is again, we just saw crude is rising, Brent crude is rising. INR is becoming weaker and weaker day by day. We are seeing huge jump in crude almost every day. So these are some of the things which are becoming now very normal now. There were days when Brent used to trade around 65, 70. 72 was the last normal level we saw in Brent crude. And
Correct.
now almost every day there's a rise of 10, 15 points in Brent crude. MCX crude, it's rising, it's moving 300, 400 points like anything. Nifty also, it's moving 300, 400 points like it's normal. So I believe these are some things that we have to normalize now. Brent crude at 100, moving 10, 20 points. Nifty moving 100, 300, 400 points. That's now becoming normal. Third point, as we said, because crude is now moving a lot, this means overnight fear is rising again and again every day. IVs are also rising, so you don't have to take any overnight positions. Even if you do intraday positions, please make sure that you close it. Don't even do BTSC trades in such markets, right? So these are some of the key things which I think traders have to keep in mind while trading such markets. And I think this also gives you a weekly wrap up around how Nifty has performed. We have already marked the key levels for next week, so I think levels are marked. Everything is clear. We just have to wait for the movement and wait for the right levels to trade the index now.
Got it, Ajit. Ajit, can we also look at some sectors for next week and like if you can categorize on like say a safe sector and versus sector to avoid for next week particularly?
See, that again completely depends on the type of news that we get in. Like recently, just some time back, we had the news that industrial diesel, it has seen a rise of 22 rupees liter, and even premium petrol, the price has been increased by 2 rupees per liter for IOC and HPCL. BPCL manages mostly the commercial diesel part. So I think such news will impact the particular sector. So far, oil and gas, we were bearish on it because crude is affecting the oil marketing companies. How will they make money? Their profit margins will be squeezed. So this was the biggest question mark that we had for such companies. Now that they're increasing the price and government is not like acting in against it, so I believe they're trying to expand their margin back to the normal phase. There were days when these companies would trade at 18, 19% margin, and now even 4, 5% margin is something which is questionable for these companies. So in such tight market scenarios, I believe oil marketing companies is something we can focus on. Capital market companies, companies like Bombay Stock Exchange. I'll just quickly load up the charts. I believe it was among our recommendations today, so I'll have to hide that part. No problem. We can check out CDSL for that matter. So companies like CDSL, Bombay Stock Exchange, basically all the capital market companies that we deal in, all these companies should be in focus. Oil marketing companies should be in focus. Also, we recommended Coal India today on Zdvisor's app along with my personal investors as well. So I believe companies like these are should like they should be on the radar. They should be in focus. And yeah, so these are some of the company sectors that we can focus for the upcoming session, the upcoming week.
That's great. That's great. Perfect wraparound for the entire week of market. Let's see what happens in the next week. Very excited, in fact.
Absolutely. And to end this, I believe these are the important levels, traders, investors. If you think that you're going to miss this session later, it's already available on YouTube, but still you can screenshot this level so you can mark it on your charts and trade these levels. Because in such market scenarios, you actually have to believe that bhav bhagwan hai. You have to believe it. You have to trade those levels because anything can happen overnight. So just stay cautious, mark the levels, and trade them accordingly.
Perfect, Ajit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and great insights today. Let's reconnect on Monday, 4 p.m.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I wish all the investors happy and safe trading.
Thank you.